Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Expert, the show where we discuss the latest cryptocurrency news and introduce you to the pioneers and the founders of the space. Today, I'm very kindly joined by BlockPro. He was on last week. We're going to be doing this every Monday. It's going to be the Trading 101 series, guys. Today, we're going to go through some analysis. We're going to have a look at the market, and then we're going to get into it with BlockPro. We're going to look at Ethereum today, guys. We're going to go through level trading. So make sure to smash that like button, hit subscribe. BlockPro, how are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good, sir. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me again. Will be a fun
worries.
stream today. So
No,
what's happening with the news, mate?
Yeah, last week's stream was super good. So, we decided to do these weekly now. And also you guys can really benefit, including myself, from learning from the wizard that is BlockPro, guys. So yeah, let's have a quick look at some price updates before we get further into it. And then we'll look into the news as well. So Bitcoin started the week above 68,000. It's been toying with 69,000. We'll get into a little bit more of that later. Ethereum 2,500. I will breeze over this right now because we're going to speak about Ethereum, guys, very shortly with BlockPro. BNB not far off $600 now. At about a month ago now, we had BNB was toying just over $600 with the whole CZ being in prison and his release. Then went down to around the 540 levels. Now back up at 600, which is good to see. Solana is still leading the way up above 170. Was toying with 180 and above over the last week there as well. We've got XRP. Every time I look at XRP, it seems to be around 50 cents. Has this even moved, BlockPro?
No, it hasn't moved since 2013, I believe.
I guess you haven't been trading this one. Maybe it's predictable. Maybe it is the good trade.
I traded it once. It was pretty much on the news that the lawsuit was over. That was one day. That I shorted it from $1.30 out of my head back to where it belongs. No, not a big fan of XRP, mate, at all.
It's a complete stable coin right now. I'll pull up the chart and we'll have a laugh at it right here. Let's pull down to here. Let's load. Yeah, not much movement at all, and that's on the daily. Look at the daily.
The weird thing is, it actually moves like a pump and dump coin. Like the people behind this are just dumping it on every move that there is. Like sometimes, like I've done some TA on it, and basically, if you look closely at it, you can see basically once a month that it gets, that the sell pressure is so high that it's untradeable in my opinion.
Yeah,
but maybe good storage instead of your bank account. You can place an XRP in 20 years; it will be still worth the same.
It's I think especially in our community, we talk about XRP, and no one trades it, no one really holds it, and it's a shock that it's still in the top 10 here. With a market cap of almost $30 billion. But then, you go outside of your bubble, your community, and you start talking to, everyday people. And a lot of the time they go, oh, do you hold XRP? I hold XRP. I've had it since 2020. And you're like, oh, okay, this is why it's such a, still a dominant force here, but not much movement here.
It is an OG coin. It is an OG project, of course. And I think that's also the reason why people are buying into it. Also, like if you look at some price predictions, especially if you go to crypto Twitter with ridiculous prices like $10, $21, then it comes down to, do you even understand how market cap works, for example? We actually have a trader in our crypto saving expert community that only, or at least he made a challenge, and the only trades he can take with that trading account are shorts on XRP. And I believe he doubled his account in less than a week by only taking shorts.
If it's a proven method, maybe we should be teaching it. It sounds funny.
Oh yeah.
We'll just tie into the chat here. Who have we got here? We've got Christian. Shout out, Christian. I hope you're doing well. Good to see you. We've got Listy as well. Listy, hope you're doing well. We've got Hugo. Hugo, I was in the Netherlands this weekend. Sorry I didn't jump through. I also missed BlockPro here as well. We've got a big Dutch community, so shout out to the Dutch. We've got the GOAT here. Hope you're doing well. and we've got Shred It as well. Good to see you guys. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'm sure you're already subscribed, but make sure to like as well, guys. It really helps out the algorithm. We've got Listy saying he is getting so rich with shorting XRP. Love to see it. Before we get into the news as well, actually, no, I'll save this question from Chris. We've got a question from Christian, but I'll save that as we get into looking at the charts with Ethereum. So I'll just have a look at the news right now, guys. We'll go over some of the headlines. So we've got Hong Kong set to license more crypto exchanges by end of 2024. I think last week there was the Solana Hacker House in Hong Kong. I hear a lot of comparison between Singapore and Hong Kong, and from what I hear, Hong Kong really does seem to be the place for crypto right now. You've got a lot of talent there. You've got developers, you've got founders, and you've got a lot of wealth there as well. BlockPro, have you been to Hong Kong?
No, mate. No. I don't get that many places. I'm just here in my trading cave, shorting away.
Best place. I've never been to Hong Kong either, but the bull market seems to be starting in the east, and I think we will see locations, cities, places like Hong Kong really taking the lead there as well. Let's have a look at some of the other articles as well. We've got top 3 crypto AI side events before Web Summit Lisbon you shouldn't miss. If you're into your events, you're in Europe, make sure to check that out, guys. Bitcoin's ETFs on the verge of 1 million holdings, what to expect in November. It's a good recap, going over some of the Bitcoin ETFs and what to expect in November there. So make sure to check that out. Understanding MEV. This is regarding MEV bots. If you've ever been a victim to a MEV bot, have a look at that article as well. And then some articles also that we touched upon was the UK trends in the UK, growing landscape, etc. And some other articles about Michael Saylor. So guys, if you're wanting to check out the news, make sure to check that out. I will be going into further depth in my stream tomorrow, going over the news. But today, guys, we've got the legend at BlockPro. That is BlockPro. So we are going to go over the charts. We're going to look at Ethereum today, and we are going to have a look at the levels. If there's any questions you want to ask while we're going through that, make sure to whack that into the chat, and then I will pop them up or ask them myself as well, guys. So I will share my screen over to BlockPro now. And we do actually have a question before we get into it from Christian BlockPro, which is, what types of charts do you like to see when trading? What catches your eye when you open a chart?
Market structures. Like that's the first thing. So for example, when I go to my watch list, like I cleaned up all my charts this weekend, by the way. So
nice. That's what you were up to.
Yeah. So basically, when I say like random altcoin, I go over here. Well, at least now on the weekly. So not really that much of an interest for my perspective. But for example, if we go and take a look at the 30 minutes, well, what can we actually see right from the start? Well, it's basically, we have here had back test on it. Here on the lows got tested away. This range right here is still open. Let me take another drawing tool to make it look a bit nicer. Where is it? Here, the arrow. You can say, for example, something like this is already from where I'm interested in. So in that case, I'm going to search directly for a market structure. Like what can we actually see? Well, here on the top side, we might have a local backtest. So in that case, I already have some sort of a view of where we might go with price. So best case would be in this situation is to actually or hold here, but then it is a no trade scenario because we're in the middle of a range, of course. Another example is pretty much a pullback down to the lows, what can give us, no financial advice, a potential entry for a long position to retest the highs again. That's something what I also explained in the last week. It's pretty much always all those market structures are always retest zones, and they also work the other way around. So if I now would pretty much invert that scale, you can still see how that market structure plays out. And this is pretty much what I do every day, is where I go like with W. Well, you can obviously see it right here. Might need to zoom out, of course. So basically, especially when you see like large drop-offs, those are most often the coins where I go like, oh, that is interesting. KDA, for example, where we can immediately see like, okay, backtest. Well, then we need to figure out, is it going to hold support? But that is where the level system comes in. Well, here, for example, on Dash, we can see some nice solid support. And if we would actually look at how the downtrend started, let me zoom out a little bit to the hour. Yeah, okay. So this is actually a perfect example. So first of all, normally you would start, of course, with your technical analysis on a monthly, weekly, daily, 4 hour, 1 hour, 30 minutes. But just for a quick scan, I would just look at pretty much 4 hours. Well, we can see a massive downtrend overall, but also if you look at the downtrends overall, they all got retested till the last point of interruption. This is not even super technical, but here you can pretty much say, oh, we have a backtest zone. We have a backtest zone over here. Let me go back to the brush. So also over here, this is not much, but it is still there. But we can still see the same sort of pattern at the moment that we might want to trade. So on the 4 hour, the chance that you have is now, of course, a continuation of a market crash. That also depends on how Bitcoin is going to move. But let's say if we would look at a 30-minute price level, reset the chart again. Let me get rid of this so the screen is a bit bigger. Well, then we can say from the start, we have had that trend, pretty much the downtrend. And then we had a bit of an interruption on it. So in this case, we can target the lows, but if we use the level system, we're going to target the lows. If we use a backtest, we want to target actually the center of that. And then we're going to say we have a range right here that we might want to target as an exit. We also have the same in this range right here. And then again, it looks super simple because we are only looking for a simple retest of that market structure. So if it comes to a quick scan, I do this and it works on all time frames. Even if you're a scalper, zoom in to the 1 minute, be absolute degenerate about it and search for the market structures. So I hope that answers the question.
Perfect. Yeah, I'll just pop up the question again for people to remind themselves. Question was, what type of charts do you like to see when trading? What catches your eye when you open a chart? And to summarize that, it comes down to market structures. Like what BlockPro says, look at the chart, back test it, identify the structures there, and see if see where your entry and exit can be from there.
Yes, we can see here the same with Ape. So we have had a drop-off point. We can target that also again as a take profit point. And also if we look here at the lows of where the breakout has started, so we go from accumulation to compression to an exponential move. So in this case, a breakout, and breakout can go in both directions. So you're not 100% sure, but that is where a stop loss comes into place. And here we can actually say the same. So how would we trade this going forward from here is that we have a backtest range here on the top side where we just want to say, okay, new range, because this is obviously invalid. It got tested. Liquidity is gone. People made their money. They're gone. On to the next one. It actually works out all the time, but then again, it is practice, more practice, and lots of chart watching. Yeah.
And with your take profit levels, you're marking out from the previous highs or previous lows, depending on which way it was regarding. Are you setting multiple levels there? What does your strategy of actually exiting that position look like?
Well, it depends. It depends on what type of strategy I'm applying for the trade. So when it comes to a scalping position, I'm more focused on taking one take profit because the position is so small. And 9 out of 10 times I only run it with 0.25% risk or 0.5% risk. When it comes to a day trade, so where the trade gets opened at the start of the day or close it towards the end of the day, that is where I work with 3 take profit points. So we have a TP1, a TP2, and a TP3. And sometimes we even leave a bit of room open to create a runner. And runner is something that you see a lot of in the stocks and options trading. And that means that you leave a small percentage open at the end of your setup. So, for example, something that looks in, you start to look at the setup, like 1% risk versus 3, 4, 5, 6, 7% reward. And you're going to base your take profits on backtests or on levels. And for example, with your first take profit, you're going to take 40% out of the trade. That means your risk is already getting smaller. Then at pretty much take profit number 2, you're going to take another 40%. That means you have taken 80% out of the trade. Oh, my dog is coming inside. He's here to say hi. Well, then at take profit number 3, you can say, I'm going to take 10% out of the trade, and you leave 10% open for a potential runner. Then you can use your stop loss, and your stop loss then becomes a take profit instead of an actual get out of the market position. When it comes to swing trading, it depends on the setup. Sometimes I go with 4 times 25% or 10 times 10%. All depends on the setup. What is important for me is actually to secure profits, because that also reduces my risk. So 1% risk versus 3% reward. So a 1R, 3R trade is in the theory often a 1 versus 1.8 trade and not a 1.3. So it's all about protecting capital in the end of the day. So,
exactly. And we've got Ethereum on the chart here. We're going to speak about Ethereum. What are you identifying with the chart right now? I myself, as an investor, I've been getting a little bit nervous with Ethereum. We've seen Ethereum dominance, really, really crumbling right now. I'm wondering, is there better opportunity cost with other altcoins, Solana, etc., like that? Is Ethereum the safe bet that I once thought it was? I feel a lot of people are slightly worried about Ethereum right now. It'll be good to hear your opinion from looking at the chart. What do you see right now?
Well, for bullish talk, I'm completely the wrong person. Basically, what I see levels, places of interest where I'm interested in taking a position, or just to make the decision, am I going to do anything with it? When it comes pretty much for long term, then we need to look at some more aspects. So you as an invader, as an investor, for you it's more the point, like you want to invest in things that you know. And we as traders, we trade in things that we know, but we don't trade in things that, or at least we trade in things that we see and not that we know. And you as an investor invest in tokens where you know something is going to happen or with a price target. So with Ethereum, what can we say? Well, we know when the ETF got launched. Well, that was pretty much $3,500, that range. We are well trading below that. Well, if you look at how an ETF works and what is the goal of people that actually invest in an ETF, are they going to sell for a loss? No. Are they going to target at least 50%? Yeah, I think so. Are they going to aim for more than that? Debatable. So in that case, you get already to a point like we have the $3,500 on the table for the ETF price. Of course, that is when the ETF started trading. So they're also still buying towards the lows. But if we look at the reveal date and pretty much take 50% of that, then that might target us towards 7K on Ethereum. But for that, we need a lot of capital to actually go there. For that, you need an actual bull run before you get to those prices. It also means there are a lot of psychological levels towards that price target. That means at 4,000 there will be a major sell-off. At 4,500, at 5,000, 5,500, and so on. People are looking to sell at round numbers. It's the same issue that you see with Bitcoin. Like people say, oh, it's now 70K, and then 2 weeks later, back to 50. Or it
no one
holds
will
up
be
at
buying
60.
the top.
Not a lot of people, I guess. Maybe Michael Saylor, but not 100% sure. So if I look from here, basically on the daily, then again, I have a backtest level on my screen. And that is like $3,211 as a backtest. It's a long way, but still, it is on the chart. And this comes back to basically all the other examples is we are looking for that market structure in a retest. What happens after that might become very choppy, because if we actually take a bit of a look to the left, well, we have a small piece open here at the top side at 3,825. Well, what is actually above that? Nothing.
Yeah.
So in that case, we need to go and take a look at a weekly. And then you can actually consider this entire part is being tested away. So from that $3,800 level all the way from, when was this? 2021, all the way back to 2024 in March is gone. That has been tested.
Yeah.
Well, then we get into bearish territory, of course. What is open at the lows? Well, right here, talk about $1,580. That's something you don't want to hear, but I'm might be more open to that. Or short term, or at least short term, or on what more bullish outview where you go towards that 3,200, 250 range. Everything what happens after that might be interesting. Also, well, basically, from my analysis, from what I have on my chart right now, is pretty much like 3,900-ish. From there, you still have the backtest open till the absolute all-time high.
Yeah.
After that, you get into price discovery. I will lose my interest in trading it because price discovery is not what I do. But for an investor, it's great, of course. So, yeah,
brilliant.
I hope it will. I hope it will do good.
Yeah, thank you for looking at the larger time frames there, man. Really, really interesting. Yeah, hopefully we do make that 3,200 again. But let's look at what chart have we got up here? We've got the week up at the moment. Should we look at some lower time frames perhaps, and have a look at some levels? Shorter term that present themselves that people can trade.
Yes. So I'm just going to take you through the process of levels. I think that is pretty much one of the most interesting things to actually discover in what type of range you should be interested in a price, yes or no. Well, to start with, we always start on a weekly, preferable even monthly, because it is crypto. We don't do much with a monthly chart because it's just too new and too fresh. Well, basically, we can see that entire run from 2020, 2021. What is of interest for us, because that entire bear market got tested, is that we're actually going to start with a bear market territory. And with the level system, we need to focus on body closures of the lows. Preferable, the more candles next to each other, the better it is, because that means that the price is more stable, more likely to actually stay in that range. So I always start with mapping out the candles, and let me change it to green. My system is usually that I use green to start with. When I perfect the level, I go towards blue or some other color, because in that way I know what line I've actually done. It comes down to finding actually a range where you are happy with the percentage, because everyone levels different. Some people go with 5 or 10% range. I myself prefer more the 10% range, because if you look at the average moving of Ethereum, 4 or 5% a day is not crazy. So we need to find some sort of a range. So in that case, we have set our lows. Well, what I see from the start is these two right here on the left, but also here on the right, I can see quite some nice price action. We're talking about 4 candles next to each other. So we're going to take this up already a little bit. So we have these two right here, these two right here. nice compression range above it. Well, then we're going to look at where did it actually broke out. Well, basically this candle right here. I will zoom in a little bit more that it stays clear for everyone to follow. So in that case, you can see that price didn't trade it below here. We have candle closures on the line, so that also means we didn't lose the level. So we're going to search for the breakout point, but in that case, we're going towards this range right here. So I'm going to place my line in it. Well, the range itself is now 200 or $100 and a little bit. It's not that big, but it is purely based on what we see from the chart. Again, if I look here, I can see another range forming. Before we had a breakout, again, a couple of weeks in the same range. Remember, we're on the weekly, so it's our large time frames. What we can double check if we are in doubt is to reset the chart. We're going to take a look at the left. The more you can take a look at the left, the more confirmation you can actually find in your chart. So
and how far will you back test that often? Say you're looking at the weekly chart there. How far back, is too far back for you to kind of back test that?
The farther you can go, the better it is.
Well, yeah.
So of course you have some price ranges where you never revisit it anyway. For example, with Bitcoin, like, is it going to get back to $3, $7, $30? No, so you're not going to check it. I would say basically take the last bear market and compare it with the bull run. How did those ranges came across with the last cycle? Pretty much, history repeats itself. So use the levels for that. So also over here, I can see a nice clear range. Again, 2 candle closures here, also over here, and then we have the start of the breakout. If I would take it a bit higher, then we can see some interaction here. We're going to check it on the right. Is there really much there? Not really. So what I spot here are a couple of weeks next to each other. So I want this range. Now we actually have a resistance, a breakout, accumulation. We have 1 week closure in the lower level, and after that we fall back into the range below it. So that means we are solid. Again, we can go to the left side and check, like, okay, we have some wick touch points. Price was very choppy before that, closed on the line and broke out, but still the gain is pretty much the candle after that. So it's still not 100% solid, but we're getting closer. We can then take a look at the next range. So we can obviously see the breakout. Then we have some sort of consolidation, compression phase. And then actually right here, these two, is where my interest takes place. Because these two candles have broken through the level, but we haven't closed above it. So that means that we're still in the range below it. You can actually take this a little bit higher. So right against the body, against the candle bodies. And we're not interested in wicks at all. We don't care about wicks. So
that's where they close.
Again, yes, we have the breakout, some sort of consolidation, 1, 2, 3 weeks next to each other. Throw in that line. Now we can also see now we have some sort of response towards the wicks on the right side. We can double check it on the left. Then we can see same touch point. Well, breakout. Again, no closure, levels are above it. So still solid.
For everyone listening, why do you not put as much importance into wicks? You disregard wicks and you look for the closing candles instead.
So with the closing candles, it gives us a good indication that the week has actually closed at that point. Wicks tells you still where price has been, and that is still important, but that is where a backtest comes into place. So with the levels, we're only identifying a range where we can say, okay, we're at the lows of a level, we're going for a long towards the top of a level. Maybe we break through it. Then we get to a point of scenarios, market structures, backtests. So you can build up a chart fairly easy. So
brilliant.
It's pretty much a slow build up from data. Also, what we can see here at the moment is that we actually had a run up, and we still need to look at candles that actually closed next to each other. So are we going to look for the lows over here, or are we going to take a cheeky look on the left in 2021? So in that case, I'm going to say this range right here is pretty interesting. 2 weeks next to each other, plot in my line. Then again, we're going to look at the candles, and I see 2 weeks here next to each other. So again, but over here we have a lower point, so we need to double check this range on the top side. Well, actually it is spot on, because here 2 weeks on the same price target next to each other. So you can see breakout. Again, breakout. Some consolidation here on the top. Is something hidden here in the middle. And we're going to take one over here. Then we are pretty much already done with the weekly. So what we can do from the weekly is that we might want to go to a daily time frame. And let me do it like this. And this already tells you what we need to gain to go towards the next level. So if you do this correctly on the weekly, you are pretty much already set. So from here, we can already say, if we gain, we go towards the next range. If we actually reject on this level, so today is pretty much close, the likelihood of retesting the level below towards over here gets already a bit higher. So now we have set our daily structures, and we can go absolutely crazy and perfect it till the cents. But for the sake of this live stream, I'm not going to do it. We will be here for 8 hours.
You mentioned to start on the weekly. Do you go into shorter time frames and add in more lines, or is it better to kind of focus on say the weekly and go from there?
Well, I prefer to do it on the weekly. I want to check it on the daily and the 4 hour if the structures are still the same. So you're still looking for body closures, but I don't really trade the 4 hour or the weekly or the daily. So let's say from this point, we actually have found already a point of interest. Like, what do we want to trade from here? Well, first of all, like I said in the beginning, we have pretty much a range of interest. So the back test is pretty much here on the highs. Then we're back to the 3,250 range. That would complete the market structure. Well, when it comes to being interested for trading it today or tomorrow, this week, what we can actually do is we can take, for example, a rectangle and say, okay, this box right here is where I am actually interested to trade in. Because it's clearly the next range on the agenda. Well, there's also a downside at this moment today, is because there's also a range below it. So in that case, we're going to look also at this range right here. So we have a bullish scenario and a bearish scenario, still all on the daily. So from here, what can I see? I can see also some clear resistance at the top. So let me go to that magic 30-minute time frame. Like this. And now we have more options. The smaller your time frame gets with trading, the more difficult it gets. So if you're new to trading, start with swing trading. It's the most easiest and calmest form of trading that there actually is. So from here, what can we see? Well, we see some sort of an uptrend happening at the moment. Is it a lot of price action? Not really. I will get rid of this box because we know where we are interested. And we can say, for example, where are those retests? Well, this here on the top is already gone. It's tested. It's not there anymore. What do we actually have at the lows? And from here, we're going back to our horizontal line. I will make it orange in this case. And what we're going to do is we're going to grab some support levels. So I'm going to move it up, up, up. And I think I will take it right over here. So in that case, we have nice touching here, nice compression here, Also over here, we can check it on the left. Also, some fuckery over there. We can check it also here with a breakout. So then we know, okay, we have some sort of a clear range.
Sure.
Reset the chart again. Because still, this is bearish direction. This is where the shorts are. Well, what can we also see? We can see a giant fair value gap. So we might also want to take the range below here. So in that case, we're looking over here. And the next part is pretty much over here. We can double check it on the left, but this will be accurate. So from here, we have said we are now hanging on that weekly level of actually losing it. And the investors will be absolutely mad. And us traders go, short it. So a clear market structure retest that is now on some sort of smaller time frame from the start. Let me grab let's do it with a trend line today. It's pretty much this range right here. That is something where you want to test the price back to. Well, but before we get there, because that is what we call the back test, so it's not gaining or losing a level, we want to take a look at how did price reacted pretty much from all gains and all pullbacks. So what I can see by just going over with my cursor is that there is a lot of price activity around this zone right here, $2,535. So I'm going to take my horizontal ray again, my horizontal line, going to place it here. And we can see here, top of a range, breakout to the upside.
Nice.
Range above, range below. I can double check it on the left side. Okay. So that's on point. We know what we are doing. So we have now that backtest to the highs with an important weekly level. We also have a losing level at the lows. Well, from here, we need to look at strength in the market, of course. Like, how is price going to react? For that, you need to zoom into like 5 minutes, or even lower to 1 minute. So in the basics, this is already where you can switch over to scenarios. And I think for a lot of for beginner traders, because of the level system is fairly easy to introduce on pretty much everything that has a ticker, or at least candles on it, is that you can look at scenarios and backtest ranges, market structures, and you in the end you can combine it all and make a wonderful trading strategy out of it. So from here, I already can take my brush and say, okay, maybe I want to have my exit right there. It will be a small trade, and then we're going to wait for a retest on that level, and then again, then we have completed that market structure again, and it is a tiny one. Well, what else? Oh, I deleted the wrong one. What else do we have? It's pretty much a rejection to the lows. So let's make this one green, this one red. Well, after that, we can also take a look at a level below that or a level there. So this right here is an enormous value gap, so price will move fast towards that range. Well, we have that backtest on the highs, so that's something that we want to close. And this is already, like I said, like the most easiest form of actually making that technical or at least TA on the lower time frames. We can also go for somewhat more bullish vibes. Over here, we have a level. We got one hidden over here. What else do we have? Also, lovely downtrend.
And with the current scenario, theoretically, what would give you the indication? Would you take a trade now? You've got two options there, or would you wait for it to test the resistance, test the support there? How would you enter that trade there? And theoretically, where would you take them?
So we always want to wait for a reaction to an important price level. That means, like, for example, now you can see that there is a bit of buying pressure actually coming in. So maybe we want to wait for like an hour, 2 hours to actually see if we retested the same level again. That only gives you more confirmation and more confidence to actually take that trade. So if you go, for example, and look at some simple structure. So let me get rid of this.
Cool.
You got a couple of options. So we've seen that enormous crash right here, all the way to the downs. Well, if you are an absolute backtest legend, then you would also notice that this is on point of support. So we can take that entry from way further back in the chart. Well, then over here, we have the point where we actually broke out of that range, but we retested that level again before we broke out towards the weekly range. So that means you get your liquidation. After that, you get your retest. That is where you make your entry. And then you target a market structure of the highs. So in this case, of right over here, or you're going to take it for a longer position, then you get more to the top. Also over here, you can see it, like we came down a little bit, and now we have a retest towards the highs. We have a retest towards the highs. Maybe a retest towards the highs. So we wait always for a retest, and that is where somewhat more patient traders are. The other option is to go for backtests, and that is pretty much being way more aggressive with your entries. So in that case, instead of waiting for the confirmation of the level itself, you go for backtest. And to be 100% clear, when I say backtest, that is not the point of testing a strategy. It is testing price action to the same level. So that means I can see pretty much a start of an impulse right here. So we have a bit of a downtrend, we have an accumulation, compression, and then a reaction to the price range. So we can, for example, with the levels, we are targeting the lows of the candles. With a backtest, we are allowed to take or the lows or the center of it. That's where we get to a point of control. So then you need to look at volume. So in that case, I can say right over here. Now you can see that is in the middle of a level. So you are being aggressive with your backtest. We can also take it from here. That is aligned with a level. So let me move a little bit higher towards here. Well, in this case, I'm way more interested in the lower entry because it's towards a more important price level than that we actually compare it with losing that weekly level. So the probability of this trade on the lower side working out as a long position towards the highs. So then I'm already thinking, because that's also a bit of a trading thing, try to think a couple of steps ahead, is that I maybe want to see this back on my chart. We're going to retest this because we set that retest here on the highs as a backtest. And that is where you change from trading levels, because with levels we can trade a winning or a gaining and a losing level. And if we combine that with backtests, then we can they end up with even more options. Still, I approach the risk management the same as a day trade, swing trade, or a scalp. But yeah, it is a way of actually looking at the chart. So we can go also absolutely crazy on the 1 minute. And then again, what kind of shapes can we actually see is pretty much some sort of V shape playing out. And the fun thing is, in the beginning, when you start with trading, you are actually mapping this out. You go with your charts and you start to level it. You're going to look for support and resistance, throw on an RSI and then a FIB level and some volume indicators. And after a while, you end up with a chart that is absolute overkill.
Just a V.
Yeah. Well, the only thing you actually need are just a couple of simple lines on your screen. So
your trading strategy, BlockPro, it's, you've been working on it and fine tuning it for years, and like you mentioned there, it's actually easier and more basic. Go back to the fundamentals, go back to basics, have those levels plotted out, and actually that's the better way of trading, rather than going deep into all these different indicators that contradict each other anyway. Actually, if you have decent levels and you understand market structure, that's the key to success.
Yeah, I still think that my trading style is actually super simple. I'm also convinced that pretty much everyone that I coach is getting profitable or is already profitable that is using strategy. It also cannot really go wrong as long as you stick to the rules.
And can be used for almost trading anything, any trading pair, anything possible with market data. So
the thing is price action, because this is what we call in price action trading. We are busy with the current price, but we also need to look at the past, what is happening. We look at fundamentals, but we don't really care about fundamentals. Maybe we say with election day in the US, there will be an enormous dump of 20%. Well, Bitcoin at 70K, plan in that short position, because maybe on the 5th, I believe, there will be a nice potential for a short. But then you are already in the trade. One of the most basic and effective trading strategies, and this again is where patience comes in, because often what I see with new traders is they want that money. They want that million in a year. And we all want that, the million in a year. Well, the thing is, start with swing trading. Buy at support, sell at resistance. Then wait for price to come back to support. Buy again, sell at resistance. If you keep repeating that same process and over and over and over again, you will absolutely make money. Of course, there's also something that is called risk management and doing your calculations about contracts and understanding leverage and stuff like that. But still, if you're still just a simple spot trader, so no leverage whatsoever, buy at support, sell at resistance. Price is coming down from resistance, don't do anything. Wait for a day, a week, a month, a year, go again. It's the same as, would you buy Bitcoin right now?
No. It's it seems crazy to think I'm expecting everyone else to start buying it and take that price up to 100K, but myself, no.
Why not?
No one wants to be buying the top, right? I know there's people out there like you who are shorting it as soon as it reaches those levels.
Yes. Well, that is mainly the issue, especially when you see a bull market happening again, is it attracts a lot of new users. And a lot of people go like, oh, crypto, this is interesting. And they go in with like a yearly salary, buy at the top and go, it's always the same. As soon as Bitcoin hits 70K or 75K, it is, oh, we're going towards 100,000. As soon as it hits 100,000, the target will be, oh, it's going towards 200,000.
It'll be 1 million after that. And I always believe in when everyone's talking about it, it's too late. When you've got your distant relatives asking you how to download a platform and have you heard about this, or people like us that work in the industry, all of a sudden you'll get people going, oh, I heard about that Bitcoin thing. I heard it's on the up. When you start hearing those, it's probably too late. And they say buy the fear, which is true. When no one's interested, when people that are in the industry are losing faith, probably the best time to buy, and that's where traders like BlockPro sweep up.
Like I love. I also use a lot of liquidity as a strategy. So when there's a massive down day, I try to pretty much scoop up a long position where everyone gets liquidated, and I absolutely love those positions. That I think it's pretty much a good one. It's basically the same, Ross. When you look at taking profits as an investor, do you have an exit plan? Or do you take a screenshot, or do you look at your phone and you go like, mate, that's a lot of money? How do you go about that?
You are completely right. In previous bull runs, you take the screenshot, and whenever you take the screenshot, that is the time to sell. When you take the screenshot, I look back at those photos on my phone and go, right, that was the top, that was the top, that was the top. And I've learned that from last cycle, this cycle, when I feel like, oh God, I'm gonna post that and put it in the Discord and share my gains with the community and everything. that is the moment to sell, and actually shouldn't be sharing it, because then you're only encouraging others to then buy it as well. So there's a few things like that, and I've learnt from previous cycles as well, that if you are taking screenshots, if other people are doing it, posting about it, you can go off it's almost a vibe check, I call it, when I'm doing the tutoring. I say, do a vibe check, and that's often the way. If there's too much euphoria, it can often be a sign of the top.
It's actually pretty interesting, because I go super systematic with my take profit levels, and you need to check sentiment, how many people are talking about it. Well, as soon as
for me as well, I do a lot of price targets. So I look at a lot of my investments are with altcoins, with deliverable projects, platforms, etc. And I look at competitors as well, almost like trading in the stock market. You would look at one EV company saying, okay, they raised this much and they went on to do this and they partnered with them. And then, this new EV company, which is starting at $1 million, they're going to partner with this people. They want to grow to that size. If they can do what this company did, you can also bring that into crypto and kind of compare different projects. If they've got similar tokenomics, if they've got similar market, etc. So price targets, which comes down to levels, really similar to what you're looking at with the chart. It comes down to levels, and I think levels, are super important. Can be hard with, if you're identifying levels with a new project which hasn't been at those heights before, it is more difficult. That's where the comparisons of different projects come in.
Yeah, correct. Yeah, like we have seen it, for example, with the Frontier and towards self-chain. Is of course, like, Frontier has been around for quite long, and now it's gone towards SLF. And that also means you don't have any, or at least you don't think you have any sorts of price history in your chart.
No.
So that also means the lack of actually market structures to actually trade it in a good way. Well, there are still ways to actually take the market structures from Frontier and put that into SLF. Well, of course, you need to take a look at how the tokenomics work. But you still can get back to different price ranges if you combine both charts onto one. Actually, quite funny. I had the conversation about this morning. Like, how do we see that? How do we get that? But then again, I don't.
Once tokenomics all switch up and there's different circulating supply. I'm sure if you're handy with numbers, handy with maths, it's easy to kind of put the two together. But I can imagine that can be super confusing.
Yeah, but it is still possible to trade it. But then again, I don't really look at things like a market cap or community sentiment or...
no,
I don't care. I just find something else if it doesn't perform. I want it to perform. So it keeps you way more flexible, at least.
Exactly. This is why having a community like Crypto Saving Expert is good, because we have all these different expertise come together. And makes everyone in the group a more well-rounded trader as well. So, and guys, while I'm mentioning that as well, if you want one-to-one tuition from myself and BlockPro, make sure to join CSC Plus. We do still have for another 2 or 3 days now. We have a free code, Uptober, so you can join as a community member for free. You can sign up for a month using the code Uptober as well, guys. So make sure to check that out. The links are in the description below as well. But BlockPro, before we round up for today, is there anything else you'd like to show the listeners right now? Anything before we wrap up for today?
Well, I think it's important to know that upcoming Wednesday, I will be live in the Crypto Saving Expert Discord community. It will be for all members. So even if you sign up and at the free account at the moment, you basically have the opportunity to ask all your questions about trading during that stream. It is an interactive stream, so I always appreciate it when as much people show up and ask some questions. Because my role in that server is we make a lot of money, but we also need to make sure that we actually keep that money and keep rolling it into other things. Oh, you can now see it. So basically, I post my charts in there. I make short content videos that you can watch basically if you don't have the time to follow coaching. or get involved with the webinars. There are videos where you can actually look at the entire process of becoming a professional trader. There are so many different options on how we can get you to a profitable state. I don't really care if you are starting from scratch, where you go like, what is TradingView? What is crypto? We can start from there. We have an entire list of, I believe there are now 50 videos available already about trading.
Nice.
And it's basically, it starts from scratch. Like, what is trading? What is investing? So I would say it is free. So join up, sign up. If you want to have the coaching, of course, upcoming Wednesday, I will be live in the stream. And what I also will do is I will scan my chart for a bit to see if there is anything juicy at the moment where we might want to take a look at. So let me check it real quick. Let me put it on.
Guys, make sure to join CSE Plus. As you can see in the events page, you will see the BlockPro Live, which is on Wednesday at 6 p.m. UK time. So, guys, make sure to check that out. I'll pull it back to your screen there, BlockPro.
Yeah, so for me now, the SLF position, of course, one where no financial advice, but I still recommend to take a look at it. If you want to buy, just know that's fully up to you. It can go into both directions. Zetero, always a good shout to trade on. Still have XTP on the list. This is just an enormous project. Still not to be forgotten. The stock of this company is doing very good.
All right.
Well, the crypto side is just lagging a bit behind, but the entire market is choppy. With eGold, well, we actually looked probably during a stream towards this. Oh, here you go again with structures. So, and then of course, still got blast on my screen where
we've got Hugo looking for there as well.
Oh yes, 100%. So there are some good potential trades out there and nice worthy investments. And if you want to spar about investments or trades, well, join the community, and we can have a nice healthy discussion about it. So that was pretty much it. So thank you for having me today.
No, it's a pleasure,
man. Again next week.
It's always good to catch up on a Monday at the start of the week with you, BlockPro. So always good to start the week off with a bit of trading analysis. And guys, like BlockPro said, he's going live on Wednesday at 6 p.m. UTC. So make sure to join Crypto Saving Expert Plus. Like we said, October, you can join for free, and you'll be able to join that live AMA where you'll be able to ask BlockPro questions and get really down to it as well. Plus all the other offerings that we provide as well. We've got really good courses to go through. We have legal advice, one-to-one legal advice there as well. And also you see all the legends that are in the chat, all the CSE Plus members as well. There's some amazing traders, and they have lots to provide and help out with as well. So it's a real good community. If you really want to make the most of this cycle, make sure to join CSE Plus, guys. We will see you there. BlockPro, thank you so much for joining. I will see you also on stream next week on Monday, guys. Make sure to turn that channel notification button on so you do not miss that. But we will lock that in for Monday. We're probably same time next week, but we will lock that in. I will post about the time and put it everywhere so you guys do not miss it as well. But guys, take care. Thanks for joining. Have an amazing day, and I will see you tomorrow. Let's go. Woo!
Yes, later.